Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. The last class we did multiplication of fraction. So today we'll be going to multiplication of mixed fraction. The last multiplication of fraction we did not involve all numbers like this. So we want to try our hands on the ones that involve all numbers. All right. So like I said we are doing multiplication of what? Mixed fraction. Now based on this, look at this. But before I proceed, don't forget to hit the subscription button and the bell icon so that you get updates on anytime I upload this video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to reach out to me via the comment section as to whether or not you need more clarity on any of our contents or not. All right, let's proceed. Now I have two whole number 3/4 multiplied by 4/5. Now because this one is a mixed fraction and this one is just an ordinary proper fraction, so what do I need to do? The first thing I need to do is to change this mixed fraction into an improper fraction. And how do I do that? This is 2 whole number 3/4. What I need to do is to multiply this 2 by this 4 and then add it with this 3. And that will be 2, this 2 times this 4. What I get here plus 3 over what? 4. I'll explain one more time. I want to convert this mixed fraction to what? Improper fraction. And for me to do that, if you understand in our previous lesson where we converted mixed fractions to improper fraction, this is what we did. We multiply the whole number, which is 2, times the denominator. What we get there, we now add the numerator, which is what? 3 in this case, and everything will be over what? The denominator, which is what? 4 in this case. Now let's solve out this before we can multiply with this. 2 times 4 is what? 8. 8 plus 3 is what? 11. So I have 11/4. So I'll go back here. Now I'll be able to convert this mixed fraction to what? Improper fraction, which is 11/4. I'll now multiply it with what I have here, which is times 4/5. Now for me to now start my calculation, I need to ask myself, just like we did in example 1 and 2. If you have fractions, multiplication of fractions like this, you need to always ask yourself, check out denominators. Look for numbers that you can use to divide both denominators and the numerator, if you can see anyone. Like this, I have this 4 here now. Is there a number I can use to divide this 4 and this 11? No. Is there a number I can use to divide this 4 and this next one here? Yes, because 4 can actually divide each other. So how many 4 can I get here? 1. How many 4 can I get here? 1. So what do I have left here? I have 11 times 1, which is what? 11. Over 1 times 5 is what? 5. So what do I do? Now this is an improper fraction. I need to change it back to what? To a mixed fraction. 11 over what? 5. How many 5 can I get in 11? It is 2. Because 2 times 5 is what? 10. So what do I have left? 1. I'm going to take away that 10 away from 11. I'll have 1 left. And that is 1 over what? This 5. Does that sync? Does that make sense? Alright. Now if that resonates with you, let's look at this next example. Now this example is 2.5 all squared. Now anytime you have all square like this, it means that number you multiply them into two places. Does that make sense? What this simply means is this: 2.5 times 2.5. Easy peasy. This is the interpretation of this is what? This show you that this to the power of 2 is for everything that is there. 2.5 times what? 2.5. So you can either do it out this way, or you can change this one to what? To a mixed fraction by saying 2 times 2 plus this one over this 2. Do you understand? You can either do it this way or this way, but because we have used this way for this one, let's try our hands on this one. Do you understand? All right. Now I have 2.5 times 2.5. This 2.5, I'm going to convert it to what? It is already in mixed fraction, so I'm going to change it to what? To an improper fraction. And how do I do that? 2 times 2, 4. 4 plus 1, 5. Like this. 2 times 2 plus this 1 over this 2 again times 2 times 2. 2 times this 2 plus this 1 over this 2. Do you understand? What we are simply doing is 2 times 2, 4 plus 1, 4 plus 1, 5. It's not be 5 over 2. 2 times 2 is what? 4. 4 plus 1 is what? 5 over 2 times this one 2 is what? 5 over 2. And that is what? 5 times 5 is what? 25. 2 times 2 is what? 4. Now this is an improper fraction. We need to change it back to what? Mixed fraction. How many 4 can I get in 25? It is 6. Because 4 times 6 is what? 24. So what do I have left? When I take away 24 from this 25, what do I have left? I have 1 left. So that one will come here 1 over what? 4. Does that make sense? Alright, now let's look at 2 more examples so that we can understand better. Alright, so we have looked at 2 examples. So we want to look at these 2 more examples. Now this number 3 question is 5 whole number 1 over 3 times 2 whole number 1 over 4. Like I established in the previous example, that before you start your multiplication, you need to change your mixed fraction to an improper fraction. And how do you do that? I said you multiply your whole number by your denominator and then you add your numerator to it. Do you understand? And that is what? 5 times 3, 15. 15 plus 1. 5 times this 3 plus this numerator, which is what? 1 over what? This denominator, which is what? 3. Multiply by, you do the same to this one too. 2 times 4 plus this 1 over our denominator is what? 4. Okay, so what do we have? We have 5 times 3 is what? 15. 15 plus 1 is what? 16. So we have 16 over 3 here times 2 times 4 is what? 8. 8 plus 1 is what? 9. So we have 9 over 4. Does that make sense? Alright. Now, you need to start picking them one by one. You look at a particular denominator and check if it's another numerator to see if they can divide each other or if there's a number that can divide both of them. Now let me start by this with this denominator. I have 3 here. I'm not going to check a denominator against a denominator. I'm going to check a denominator against a numerator. Do you understand? I cannot say I want to check 3 and 4 if they can divide each other. No. I'll pick a number down and see if there's another number up that can divide each other. Do you understand? Now I have 3 as a denominator here. I need to check one of my numerator if 3 can divide them too. I have 3 here. Is there any number that can divide 16 and 3? No. Is there any number that can divide 3 and 9? Yes. So that means 3 can divide itself and 3 can also divide what? 9. Now in doing that, how many 3 can I get in 3? Is 1. How many 3 can I get in 9? Is what? 3. So I'll go again. I've dealt with this denominator. Let me pick the next denominator, which is what? 4, as against any of this numerator. Now I have 4 here. Is there any number that can divide this 4 and 3? No. Then I'll move to the next numerator to check. Is there any number that can use to divide this 4 and this numerator with 16 here? Yes. 4 can actually divide itself and it can actually what? Divide 16. So I'm going to use 4. How many 4 can I get in 4? 1. How many 4 can I get in 16? 4. So what do I have? I have 4 times 3 left up here. 4 times 3 over 1 times 1 here. And that is 4 times 3 is what? 12. 1 times 1 is what? 1. And then 12 divided by 1 is what? 12. So my answer is what? 12. Now let's look at this next example. I have 12 over 15 multiplied by 1¼ all squared. Now before I can touch this at all, I need to deal with what I have inside this bracket first. And how do I deal with it? It is a mixed fraction that I have inside this bracket. So I need to convert this mixed fraction into an improper fraction. After which I'll now what? Raise it to the power of 2 to see what it's going to give me. And then after that, I'll now multiply with this. Does that make sense? Alright. Now in doing that, in dealing with what we have in this fraction first, because in the rule of mathematics, you need to follow what they call BODMAS. Now these BODMAS are just acronyms for different operators. Brackets, off, which is another name for multiplication, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So in mathematics, if you have 2 or more of these operators together in a particular question, you need to follow this precedence. You need to follow this order. If you have bracket, then you have to deal with bracket first. Next with off, next is division, and so on and so forth. So because we have brackets come first, we have to deal with what? Bracket first. And in doing that, we have to deal with this first, which is 1 over 4. And how do we do that? It will now be 1 times 4 plus this one that is up over this denominator, which is what? 4. Does that make sense? 1 times 4 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. So I have 5 over what? 4. Now everything is all squared based on what we have here. Do you understand? Now if everything is all squared, it means 5 times 5 over 4 times 4. That is what it means. And this will give me 5 times 5 is what? 25 over 4 times 4 is what? 16. So when I have this, I'm going to multiply it against with this, and that is what? 12 over 15 multiplied by 25 over 16. Does that make sense? Now, this is what I have. I need to pick any of these denominators. Let's pick it one by one and check it against any of the numerator. Now I have 15 here. Is there any number I can use to divide this 15 and this 12? I think so, yes. 3 can divide both. But I can still check further. This 15 and this numerator here, is there any number I can use to divide both? Yes, which is what? 5. Now 5 here is what? 3. 5 in 25 is what? 5. Now I can decide to move to the next denominator, which is 16. I can ask myself again, is there any number that I can use to divide this 16 and probably this 5 here? No. If it's not possible with this 5, then I'll check with the next numerator, which is 12. Is there a number I can use to divide this 16 and this 12? Yes, I can use 2 and I can use 4. But to make it easier and faster, let's use what? 4. 4 in 16 is what? 4. 4 here is what? 3. Now check again. Is there any of this numerator and this denominator that can actually use to divide each other again? Yes, which is what? 3 and 3 can divide what? Each other. 3 here, 1. 3 here, 1. Alright, so what do we have left here at the numerator side? We have just this 5 left. You can see that we have cancelled everything, so we have just 5 left. So write 5 over, what do we have left here? We have 1 times 4, and that is what? 4. So now that we have 5 times 4, which is an improper fraction, you know, so you have to change it to what? To a mixed fraction. And that would be what? How many 4 can I get in 5? It's 1. Because 1 times 4 is actually 4. So if I take away the 4 from 5, what would I have left? I have 1 left. So it's now be 1 over what? 4. Alright, thank you so very much for watching today's video. The next video promises to be more interesting. I will implore and beseech us to please do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so that you can get notification anytime I upload. Don't forget again one more time to give us a thumbs up, and you can get back to me at the comment section so that I can know if you need any clarity based on the content so far. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next class.